The M1 Max is the best bang for buck performer in the laptop world, period. I've been using M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro for the past 4 years now, and I still don't see myself upgrading anytime soon. See, one of the biggest questions I get on my comment section is, Shamrat, which laptop should I get for video editing and motion graphics? So I thought, let's make this interesting. What if you just had only $1,000 to spend? Would you buy a used M1 Pro or a brand new M4 Air? And to make this even more interesting, I actually bought both. And unlike other videos on the internet, I'm going to show you how they handle real complicated timelines in both Premiere Pro and After Effects. Let's go with the new one first. Alright, the first of the brand new MacBook Air M4. Now just for $1,000, you can get the 13-inch M4 MacBook Air with 256GB storage and 16GB of RAM. I know, the one that I'm showing here is the 15-inch model, little expensive, but the difference in performance is negligible for our own comparison. This is what you get for $1,000. The latest M4 chip, 16GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, which I think is a problem because 256GB in 2026, I don't think it's enough. So it's actually quite slim. Let me just unbox this really quick. As you can see, it's quite slim. I mean, it's really slim. Let's do a one-hand hold test. Yeah, really easy, even if it's the 15-inch one. And Apple says it's powerful enough for 4K video editing. I don't really trust their marketing though. And trust me, on the internet, on YouTube, no one really shows you complicated timelines like practical real-world editing scenarios. Don't worry, we are going to test all of those. But first thing you need to know, which is a little concerning, especially for an editor, is that this thing has no fans. Passive cooling only. Which means when you're doing like long exports, heavy color grading or rendering motion graphics, it will thermal throttle. Now we will prove that in minutes, but first, let me show you what $1,000 get you in the used market. The used market can be a little sketchy sometimes. I was really not sure if this was a good idea. But just because of you people, I took the leap of faith. So please subscribe. The first laptop I ordered was actually a 14-inch M1 Pro with 32GB of RAM. It came on time, the quality was pristine, but the problem was that the configuration was completely wrong. Instead of 32GB of RAM, they sent a 16GB one. And it actually costed me more. So I returned it and ordered one more again. Now this time it's a 16-inch M1 Pro with 32GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. And it actually costed me less, like $964 to be precise. Now let's take a look at the laptop, right? So if I open the laptop, you can see that it's actually quite good. So I think there are a couple of scuffs here and there, but it's like very minimal. So this is actually quite a prominent scratch right here. They're like very teeny tiny scratches. But given this is like a 5-year-old laptop, I am shocked with the quality and the maintenance of the person, right? So from a one-hand distance, I probably can't even notice any of the scuffs unless I put in a specific, lighting direction. And if you look at the keyboard also, it's almost perfect. If you see even the speaker holes, it's not filled or something, and the trackpad is smooth and all. Okay, now let's look at the display. Let's just play a couple of yeah, so the speaker feels completely fine to me. The display also looks quite good. If you are going to buy a used Mac, and I recommend you do after this video, here are a couple of things that you need to check before you're ordering. First is check the refurbished quality rating. Now on Amazon, it can be good or excellent. Now we obviously chose the excellent one. It will be a little more pricier, but I think it's totally worth it. And also check the seller rating. Now some sellers have like a 74% rating. The one that we bought from almost had like an 80% rating. So, just to be more sure. Second is, if you can wait it out, you can actually get the 64GB model for about $1,100 to $1,200. They're almost always out of stock because of all the AI slop that you people create. The one thing that I got a little disappointed with that, I got absolutely no charger with this, which is
shocking given that it's mentioned excellent quality.
Now before I get further, there are a couple of things that you should absolutely check when you're ordering this. First is the physical condition. Are there any scratches? Are there any dents? Are there any damages? I'm really surprised and shocked with the excellent quality. I mean, the laptop is pristine. There are barely 1 or 2 scratches here and there. On the keyboard there might be some scuffs, but other than that, it's pristine. Second check is for dead pixels. Open a pure white screen like this and kind of try to look closely. This one had no dead pixels, no bright spots. We are good. Third is the battery health check, and this is a big one. Open system settings, go to battery and check the condition. Now the mine says condition is normal. Now you should also check the cycle count. It has about 320 cycles. Now under 500 is acceptable, under 300 it's actually good, and as you can see it also has about 87% of capacity left. Check 4 is the keyboard and the trackpad. You should actually test that every key is working. Now on this one everything works perfect. 7 is the software validation. Now this is quite important. Go to about the Mac, check about the Mac to verify the actual specs match what was advertised when you ordered. Alright, so after all this checks, this $964 used M1 Pro looks legit. But can it really outperform well in 2026? Alright, before we move forward, we have another unboxing. This is the OBSBot Meet 2 webcam, and this is genuinely a really good and affordable product. You get the webcam, a USB-C cable, a magnetic mount, and a privacy cover. That's it. Let's get into it. Look at how tiny this is compared to my AirPod. And here's the thing. A lot of you are doing client calls, meetings, presentations, and your built-in webcam, not great. Now let's compare it to my old webcam. And the quality, you can see it right now, it's really bad. And this is the output from OBSBot Meet 2. The difference is night and day. This can shoot in 4K 30 frames per second and also 1080p up to 60 frames per second. Autofocus is accurate and the low light performance way better than you would expect from a webcam. Now here's the feature I think is super underrated. AI auto framing. If you are moving around during a demo or presentation, it tracks you and keeps you centered in the frame the whole time. No awkward cropping, no going out of the frame, it just follows you. It gets even better because there's AI gesture control. You can show gesture at the camera to trigger tracking or zoom completely hands-free. If you rotate the camera vertically, the footage automatically switches to vertical mode. So if you're creating content for Reels or TikTok, it got you covered too. The magnetic mount just clips right onto your laptop, that's it. And it has dual built-in mics with noise reduction. This is how the OBSBot Meet 2 looks like, and all of this just $129. I will leave a link in the description down below. Alright, now back to the MacBooks. Now let's see how these two handle real life editing workflows. So first off, we have a Premiere Pro project file. Starting with the M4 MacBook Air. Now this is an actual YouTube project we have edited recently. It has 4K footages, lot of lumetri color corrections, some transitions, graphic overlays, heavy sound effects, and also like dynamic After Effects timeline. So first we're going to scrub through the timeline inside of Premiere Pro and see how the responsiveness is in general. So at 1/4 the resolution, scrubbing is okay, not the best, but it's fine. So if I just try to play back it at half, probably it will play back because it has cached a little bit, but as you can see it starts to stutter. Now at the same time I will also check the memory pressure. Now it's going back to a little bit of green, probably it has swapped a little bit more. What I'm going to do is actually open the After Effects timeline after this, right, to check. Okay, so I've opened the After Effects timeline, none of these are cached as you can see. I will try to play back at full resolution. Now let's try to play back. Obviously our projects, even with M1 Max, you cannot play back at 30 FPS. It's just too difficult, right? There's a lot of motion graphics happening here and there. So it's time to check out the M1 Pro one. I've opened the Premiere project. This is After Effects of the same project open. So let's try to actually see if how's the playback is. Let's try to say at 1/4. See, it will always get stuck a little bit here, but it's actually quite good, you know, even at 1/4 the resolution. This is much more usable. Like, totally fine with this sort of scrubbing performance. See how fast it can scrub. I don't know, for some reason, like MacBooks are really good with scrubbing, and honestly I really care about scrubbing because when I'm walking I don't want it to be sluggish. I can just click on export when I'm about to sleep and just call it a day, right? So it's really good. The performance is really good. Let's see the RAM performance. So as you can see, no swap is used. It's barely using the RAM. So it's using 21 GB of RAM and there's like literally no memory pressure. Now this is again very important when I am trying to render multiple frames, right? So I will go back, I will go to the After Effects and I will check if this can be rendered. Holy smokes! It will get stuck here because it's okay, it's full green. Now see, this is the difference, because if you're really serious about like motion graphics and all, this is buttery smooth. Yeah, this place it will stuck a little bit. It's quite difficult, but yeah. But even with like scrubbing and all, like I don't know anyone who actually uses timeline at full resolution. Like I use like 3rd or like 4th, and with that it's like very useful, very usable, right? And with other composition also we can see very usable. Alright, now let's do the export test, and this is where things might get a little bit interesting. So this is a Premiere Pro timeline and I'm gonna try to export this. So as you can see, we have selected the in and out points and simply we're gonna export it. Range, source in and out, and moment of truth, hit export. So while this is rendering, we can actually try to render this in this one also. So I will put this aside and get this laptop back and keep it like this for now. Open this. So let's export this one also. Put output and we'll send to media encoder. This one is definitely taking longer, as I can see the frame been rendering. This is not even like 2 times 3 times difference. This is a whole lot difference, like about 2 hours, and this is already showing like 10 minutes. This, even if it has a fan, would never thermal throttle because the export will get done in 10 minutes. But this, since it's a very long run, it would take 1 hour, it will definitely thermal throttle in a while. So it will slow down even further. Now this is the biggest advantage of going with the M1 Pro laptop. So I'm gonna cancel this one because I don't have the patience for like 50 minutes to go forward with this one. Premiere project in the M1 Pro took about 14 minutes and 32 seconds. Now this was just Premiere Pro, a little bit of After Effects, but let's go on a full-blown motion graphics project where things get really heavy. Now this is a real motion graphics project that I did for a client like very long back. Now this has animated text, shape layers, lot of 3D stuff. Let's see if it can scrub at full resolution. Probably it won't be able to. Yeah, there's a lot of drop frames. It's playing at like 8.7 to 8 frames per second. As you can see, there's a lot of 3D camera movement in this one. And see, things are getting quite sluggish now. Like, yeah, this is definitely not able to play back like at full resolution definitely. So I'm just gonna try to export this. Add to Adobe Media Encoder Q. Interestingly, this is showing less render time than the Premiere project, but I did not like the scrubbing performance a lot. Typically it would have like 100 layers. This is like 22 layers only. Typically the projects have like more than 100 layers. So, but it gives a good sense that whether you can actually do SAS in this or not. Well, let's actually check the RAM usage right now. So see guys, it's using 14 GB of swap. That's no good news. That's absolutely no good news. It has already compressed about 7 GB of file. Oh my god, this is quite toasty. I think it's definitely throttling right now because it started really fast. This is very toasty. Like, this is getting very warm right here. Okay, so the After Effects export took 5 minutes and 25 seconds. So let's actually check the After Effects performance in this one. Try to scrub a little bit. Yeah, that's quite fast. That is much faster and much more usable. Like, it takes a couple of seconds, but yep, this is miles better. Let's try to render this now. So I'm going to go to File, to Adobe Encoder. Are you kidding me? Just say 30 seconds. Again, no swap is being used. Definitely much better, specifically if you are working on very tight deadlines, you know, client wants very fast change. If you don't want to say them, it's taking 5 hours to render, this is the one to go with. It's about 31 seconds through and already close to like 40%. So now while this render, there's more to it. First, the display. Now the M1 Pro has 1600 nit peak brightness display with a ProMotion 120Hz screen. The M4 Air, it only has 600 nits and that too at 60 Hz. Second, ports. Now the M4 Air has just 2 USB-C ports, a MagSafe and a headphone jack. The M1 Pro is really built for professionals. 3 USB Type-C Thunderbolt 4 port, HDMI port, SD card slot and a MagSafe and an headphone jack. For video editors, having built-in HDMI and SD card slot is huge. No dongles, no adapters, nothing. Just plug in your camera's SD card and you're good to go. Fourth, as we said, thermal performance over time, right? Now here's what really matters on tight deadlines. After 30 minutes of continuous editing, the M4 Air gets hot, like actually uncomfortably hot to be honest. And it starts to throttle as you have seen. The exports kind of slows down. The M1 Pro stays absolutely cool, the fans are barely audible, performance stays consistent. And here's the thing, my personal M1 Max is 4 years old. I've been using it daily for professional work and it's still going strong. So let me give you my final verdict. If you only have $1000 to spend on a laptop for video editing and motion graphics, the used M1 Pro is the better buy. And it's not even close. Be the performance, the display, the ports, it's a better deal honestly. If you're really hesitant about buying a used one, I get it. Just get the new one. But if you're serious about video editing and motion graphics, intermediate to complex work, and you want something that is actually quite long term, get the used MacBook. Alright, that's it for the video. If you want me to make a detailed comparison like Blender renders, more complicated After Effects projects, advanced workflows, comment down After Effects below. And if you want to know what I learned after editing 1000 videos, watch this video right here.